right, so I'm one of these people now that got the mic in their hands because for some reason I've been trying to pin it up on my shirt and it kept falling. So I'm one of these guys today, okay? But I wanted to talk about something that a lot of you guys asked, and I had some notes and everything, but I pretty much threw them out the window because I just really kind of wanted to speak from the heart right now. And plus, I didn't want to have to do too much editing and nothing like that because I really just want to just hammer this point across. What a lot of you guys have to understand is it's not necessarily the beat that is going to, make or break your life, okay? It is the finished product. It is the finished song. And I know a lot of you guys out here try to make the best beats in the world, and I know you try to make the best sounds, and you have all this stuff going in the background, and you have the swooshes and the crashes and the dropouts and all this stuff like that. But we got to be real about this, okay? A lot of times when we listen to a lot of these hit records or whatever, a lot of times these beats are not necessarily the best beats ever made. They're the most effective beats for the song. And that's why a lot of you guys always wonder when you send out beats and stuff like that, why artists pick the beats that you don't even like as much. Like when I send beats out, a lot of times the beats that I don't like, I'll put them towards the end, and that's the one that the artist usually picks because they're the most effective. What we have to understand is even though you might have a beat that might be all world, that might win every single beat battle, it does not mean that that beat is going to make an all world song that's going to be a huge hit. Because a lot of times, most songs just need a lot of space. And what I mean by that, it needs space for everything to live in. It needs space for the drums. It needs space for the bass. It needs space for the melodies. It needs space for the vocals. And what I say to a lot of people a lot of times is, in order to have like a hit, you need to have a lot of things that line up perfectly. One thing you need is you need the perfect beat on top of the perfect vocal. You need the perfect song title sometimes. You need the perfect way to basically project your lyrics on that beat, the perfect vocal performance, the perfect vocal take, the perfect timing on releasing the record. There's a lot of things that go into it that have to be perfect. And sometimes the perfect beat is not always the best beat. That's why I tell people all the time, when you make tracks, sometimes when you feel that you might want to add just that one more thing, don't add it. Leave it out sometimes and play it for the artist, because sometimes that one extra thing can throw the whole beat to the side. Like it's times right now when I make a beat, and sometimes I'll be making a beat and I'll be, thinking that I need to add this one more sound, or I need to add this other, bass in here, or I need to add this other little synth lead or this pad or something in there. A lot of times I would just completely stop. And even though I might feel like, this is not finished, to somebody else, it might be perfect for what they are doing. So sometimes it's actually good to stop ahead of time. And then if you need to go ahead and add some stuff to the beat after you get like an artist or whatever on there, then you can actually do that. Okay? Actually, since I've been saying that 1,001 times in this video. So what I want to tell you guys is that when you are producing, try to train yourself to not overproduce in certain situations. Now, I know it might be sometimes where you might have to overproduce like that, but try to train yourself to not overproduce all the time, because you still have to understand that there will be vocals on top of that beat. And then even after you get vocals on the beat, don't try to overproduce even with the vocals. Like sometimes a lot of these big tracks, they don't have 15,000 pieces of vocals on there. Sometimes it might be just a lead, a little background vocals, and then the hook might be doubled sometimes, or it might not even be doubled at all, it just might have some backgrounds. And that's something that you might just need. It's just that, because sometimes you don't want to overcomplicate a song. So even overproducing a beat, overproducing vocals can take away, because you still need to have some type of space. If you go back and listen to a lot of the hit records, like even from now to even back 30, 40 years, a lot of those songs, if you just play the beat by itself, you'll be like, that's it? Like, I thought there'd been more to it, but when you add all the other elements to it, then things start getting a little bit interesting. So I'm telling you guys right now, if you are looking to try to make the best records you can make, if you're trying to make a hit record, if you're trying to advance yourself in this music game, understand that you do not have to overproduce these songs. My biggest record was nowhere near overproduced, okay? We made the record in 45 minutes. I took it home and did a few things to it, but it literally was like the total process was maybe like an hour and a half, and look where I'm at right now. And in every single record I did after that, I did not overproduce those records because they did not need that, and I understood that in order to make a record that stands out, you have to have some type of space for everything to live in. And then a lot of times, if you have too much stuff in there, then even the mix might not hit the same. The vocals might get drowned out, or the beat might get drowned out by the vocals, because you're fighting for certain space inside of a record. So I tell y'all right now, I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit of advice for what I've done. You do not have to overproduce. Sometimes leaving them few sounds, the few synths, the few things that you want to put in there, you do not have to add that. Because a lot of times these rappers, these singers, or whatever, they listen to these beats totally different than how you view these beats, because you have a personal connection to them, and they might have a personal connection to them, but it might be a little bit different of a personal connection to the actual tracks. Then when it comes to even, putting down vocals, sometimes just putting down a good solid vocal on there and then adding a few things on there may just be enough. Because if you think about it, you might not need that much these days. And if you look at some of the records that are big right now, these records don't really have nothing, it's just super spectacular or anything like that. So, this is just some advice. Now, do you have to do it this way? No. Like, if you feel like your production is the way you do it your way. Okay? Don't take my advice for what I'm saying, because my advice is only 1 out of 8 billion people in this world. But I'm just telling you from experience and what I hear on the daily when I go to certain sessions and I hear certain beats and I hear certain songs that are unreleased that have not came out yet. A lot of these tracks are very, very simple, but they're effective because they have space, so things actually sound better. The kicks are kicking, the bass is hitting right, the snares are hitting right, the sounds, you can hear them right because everything has space, and the vocals have space to sit on as well. So just try it one time, if you haven't tried it before, or try it a few times, and you never know what can happen. But I'm telling you guys right now, you don't have to overproduce to get a hit record, okay? The beat is important. I get it. The beat is very important, but the song is more important. And if you get that right, then potentially you can get you a hit record and live happily ever after.